So YouTube, it's your boy EBTV Sports back, and this is a another episode of Undercover Truth, and that's basically whenever you see an episode of Undercover Truth, it's I give a blank screen, and I just spit facts, talk about different issues or whatever. But anyway, today's topic is going to be addressing the argument that Mayweather haters make. In regards to the fight with Canelo, when they say Canelo was inexperienced, and so that's the argument I'm going to be addressing now. When they say Canelo was inexperienced, and I'm also going to be addressing some of the excuses they make for Canelo. Canelo has lost to Mayweather, I should say. But before I get into this video, I want to say one thing that one of my favorite YouTubers said in his previous video. One of his previous videos, he said something very interesting. He said, and I'm paraphrasing. This is not exactly what he said, but he basically said this. He said, casuals, like, when casuals are crafting their arguments, they like to craft their arguments based on feelings, not facts. And that is that's interesting, and not just interesting, that's really true at the same time. Casuals, they really do craft their arguments based on feelings, not on facts. And I get a lot of casuals sometimes, here and there, but just saying, I know this is a controversial topic, Canelo's, the whole argument that Canelo was inexperienced. So if you don't agree with me on what I'm about to say in this video, don't argue with me based on your feelings. If you're gonna debate with me based on facts. That's the best way to debate, and that's also the proper way to debate. You don't do a good debate is not with feelings. A good debate is an analytical conversation, with facts. So yeah, that was one point he made in one of his previous videos. You should go subscribe to him, and so I'll get into this video. The whole argument that Canelo was inexperienced is wrong on so many levels. Here's why. What Mayweather haters don't really tell you, and it's up to you to do your own research, but what they don't really tell you, or what they don't like to be told, what they don't like to point out, is that when Canelo fought Mayweather, Canelo was 42-0. And not only was he 42-0, when he fought Mayweather, he was just coming off an impressive win against Trout. Good fighter, real solid fighter. He came off an impressive win against Trout. So if you're 42-0 in the pros, and you're just coming off an impressive win, how is that? How are you inexperienced? If you're 40, I'm gonna say it again. If you're 42-0, 42 fights, no defeats, and you're just coming off an impressive win against a really solid fighter, how are you inexperienced? Because what they like to they paint an inaccurate narrative, which is that but they like to try to confuse people. They like to try to mislead people. They make it seem like Canelo was this young dude who with very little pro fights and just trying to find just finding his way in the pro boxing world. He didn't have a lot of fights, and he fought Mayweather in his prime, and Mayweather just outboxed him because Canelo only had 15 fights. That's what they try to make it seem like. But they don't really tell you that Canelo actually had 42 fights, and he was just coming off an impressive win when he fought Mayweather. So if that's not experience, having 42 fights, coming off an impressive win, and if that's not experience, then experience doesn't exist. So yeah, that whole argument of him being experienced, it's just wrong on so many levels. And again, Canelo had 42 fights. He was just coming off an impressive win against Trout. And not only that, he was a big name at the time. So the whole argument that he was inexperienced is just false. The thing is, the people who say Canelo was inexperienced are his fans, and his fans also happen to be Mayweather haters. But and this is what gets me: these same people who said, "Oh man, Canelo is gonna beat Mayweather. Canelo, is gonna dethrone the king. Canelo might stop Mayweather." Same people who had Canelo beating Mayweather are the same people who are making these excuses, because They said Canelo was gonna beat Mayweather, and then right after Canelo got outboxed and outclassed, then they start making excuses. Don't make excuses. No excuses. I mean, that's a popular slang. I mean, popular saying in boxing and in sports in general. No excuses. Don't make excuses for your favorite fighter losing. If they lost, just say their opponent was a better man that night, or their opponent was a better fighter. So yeah, like I said, that's really what gets me is when the same dudes who are making these excuses like, oh, Canelo was inexperienced, but the same dudes who were saying that Canelo was gonna beat Mayweather, but now that Canelo lost, now there's an excuse. Don't make excuses like that. I just think that's ridiculous. But yeah, so, and also another point, what people Canelo haters, Canelo fanboys and Mayweather haters don't like to point out is that when Mayweather fought Canelo, Mayweather was 37, and if anybody who's been around sports for a long time, studied professional sports too, they know that if you're 37 and you're competing at 37, you're basically at the tail end of your career, and that goes for basketball, football, baseball, and boxing. That goes for all the sports pretty much. If you're 37, you're coming to the tail end of your career because 37 is pretty old for a professional sports athlete. You don't see many sports athletes competing at 37, and you just don't see it. You don't see many sports athletes competing at 37 plus. So that's what people don't like to point out, especially Canelo haters and especially Canelo lovers, fanboys and Mayweather haters. They don't like to point that out. That Mayweather was actually 37 when he fought Canelo, which means Mayweather was at the tail end of his career. Mayweather had lost his step when he fought Canelo. He was older. So, I mean, you can even say, let's say for the sake of the argument, let's say Canelo wasn't experienced. Let's say that I'm wrong. Let's say Canelo wasn't experienced. For the sake of the argument, he still fought an older Mayweather. He didn't fight a Mayweather in his prime. He fought a 37-year-old Mayweather. Like I said, it's a general rule in sports. If you're like 37, you're coming to the tail end of your career, and you've lost a step by then. So he fought an older Mayweather and still got outclassed. So yeah, that's basically all I have for today. If you're watching this video and you're new, please subscribe. If you like the video, press the like button. If you dislike it, press the dislike button. Yeah, so that's basically it. Subscribe, share and show support. And that's EBT. I'm EBTV Sports. Yeah, that's basically it. I'm out.